My name is Ivy Turner. This is my mock oral for Rashomon directed by Akira Kurosawa. The excerpt I will be doing is from 11 minutes 49 seconds and 16 minutes 49 seconds. This excerpt is whenever the woodcutter uh, he comes across the body of the young girl, and it goes until the beginning of the bandit's testimony. A little bit about the director. He was a painter of visualization. He's pretty good at storyboards. He started out as a assistant director, and he lived in the 20th century. Rashomon was his cultural breakthrough, and it let him explore into the West, and people started to enjoy his films more. They enjoyed them more than in China. This is just a picture of Rashomon and social cultural background. Um, the film explores different views on um, how rape was seen of women, and how it could create different problems and the different views that took place. An environmental breakdown, first to reach the US and Europe. So this was his first movie and one of the first in China to make it to the US and Europe and Strive. It was pretty unique, basically, because of something called the Rashomon effect. So it's where one 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 idea or thought or action situation takes place one time, but there's multiple people witnessing it and that are related to the story that have a different truth, and how everyone has their own truth. So Kurosawa makes fun of masculinity, and Rashomon, basically he just criticizes humans how humans fear and scare. Also how they act whenever put into pressure. Rashomon, the theme of Rashomon is still relevant today, even though it was made about 60 years ago. It's basically just because we still have bias and different perspectives, and we all see things a different way, so we all have our own truth. And it's true in our eyes, but maybe not towards others. So Rashomon kind of has it changes our perception to different situations, or how people view different situations. Okay, so Kurosawa uses a lot of interesting framing and camera movement techniques. So I don't want to say following, because Kurosawa kind of stays away from following his characters and more like centering his characters in the camera frame. So it lets you see that their story is being told, it shows which character story is being told and how it's going to affect them. This is their role is taken by the camera. So the audience, it would be a jury, but you are the jury, the watcher, the viewer. You're the jury. Whenever this happens, Rashomon makes each character the center of attention. So whenever whenever the woodcutter is telling his story about about what happened in the woods, and whenever he comes along the young woman, um, he's in the very middle of the screen, and the rule of thirds is not followed at all in this film, which I thought was pretty interesting. Um, he's in the middle of the film, so it it's like you're one on one with him, and it's in person. And even though it's not following the rule of thirds, and it typically isn't seen as being connected to the the character, it shows that you guys are like one on one, and the woodcutter is talking to you and you're making a bias on him, which also gives you another point of view of a truth that happened about the situation in the film. Um, Before Kurosawa started filming Rashomon, he took the actress, the woman, into um, he wanted to teach her. He wanted to see how she reacted to fear. So he ended up taking her where there were lions, and she was scared of the lions. So Kurosawa filmed her being scared as well as the lion's movements. So whenever um, the bandit came up on the screen, he kind of did a similarity framing towards the lions. So um, in the extract, um, the bandit is seen drinking from a waterfall, river, and or a stream, and the way that he got down to get a drink was unique because it was more animal-like, and Kurosawa did this to portray how inhumane humans can be and show that when presented with different situations, how human-like or animal-like humans can be. So whenever he did this, it kind of changed um, your bias towards him. Um, there's not a lot of dialogue within the film, and uh, it's contrasting narration because each character doesn't get to narrate, but they do narrate through their actions, and their character's camera, helps them narrate their story. However, there is plenty of music to go along with um, with the film. Whenever a character is um, giving their situation, they realize that like there's no music or background noise, it's just them talking to you, which kind of makes it more personal. However, that is shown when the woodcutter is explaining to the camera his incident with the young woman. Um, the music shows the character's feelings and actions. So whenever the woodcutter first finds the girl, the music was sort of like a beating going along, and then it starts to give way to a thriller soundtrack. So what I mean by this is Kurosawa speeds up a startling music, and whenever he finds the dead body of the young woman, he makes the character's actions kind of shocked, and the music goes along with this because it starts to give like a doom doom feeling, so you get sort of scared, and it makes you feel like you're that character. Um, I chose this extract because I thought that it related more with the theme of Kurosawa, and I feel like that was what he was trying to get across as his point whenever he created this film. And I also um, think that that's why it was one of a big breakthrough for Kurosawa because it reached the U.S. and Europe.